Good. Okay, we'll get started with the opening statement from Coach.
Proud of the guys. Grinding game. Chris runs a great program. It's a winning product year in, year out, and you can look at the teams they've beaten and where they've gone. Impressed with our team. Every game has a unique personality, and that did not feel good for the first half of the ball game. And you know that. Our guys know it. When you stay in it pitching and you make some of the defensive plays that we made, it gives you an opportunity to figure the offensive piece out in that one game. And that's what happened today. DeLam had great at-bats. Dowd had some great at-bats. Nate had some timely moments. I think Frazier walked a few times. But there were clearly opportunities where I felt like this game should have been 5-2 halfway through the game. But we did not capitalize. And I will continue to talk about the recognition of spin and the right-handed hitters with their right-handed breaking pitches. There were a lot of breaking pitches that were actually in on the right-handed hitters, which is unique. I don't know if that gave us some trouble. Their starting pitcher did a good job. He mixed everything. It was to both sides of the plate, which made his fastball more effective when he did throw it. We were fortunate to win that game. If you work backwards, I thought that was the best we've ever seen Beagle. Micah made an adjustment in his alignment, so he's on the first base side of the rubber. He already had nice angle. That adjustment created more angle because of where he is delivering the ball from now, and also introduced a cutter. So those pitches that were 86, 87 were cutters. And when you watch it, some cutters, you say cut fastball, I put some cut fastballs more in the hard slider realm, and I think that's what those look like to me. The cut fastball doesn't have the depth that does. You can call it what you want. The result was A+, and we needed that. And it got to a point in the lineup. I think we got him in there for the two lefties that were in the middle part of their lineup, which was a good matchup for him, and as good as he's thrown. I'm proud of the guys who are playing the game hard the whole time. Frazier, some outstanding plays at shortstop. McCulley, the double play on a tough flip. That was a tricky one for the shortstop because the ball pins you back. You know you really need to flip that, but it's forced, and you're trying to get everything you got on the flip, and it was low. McCulley hung in there and finished it off. And then McCulley's play in I guess that was in the 8th, the slow chopper over the mound, he got rid of that ball beautifully. So the defense allowed us to stay in there until we could figure the offensive stuff out. Proud of the win. Wasn't pretty. Had chances. We all know it. But at the end of the day, you got to post the W, and that's what we did.
How important is putting themselves in here? What he did to calm it down.
Great. And we knew it was a bunting situation, so you could tell what we were doing with that, and it was poised. I thought his stuff was good, and he actually, from a pitch count perspective, we go into this knowing what their cap might be. But the way the game was going, somebody needed to actually make use of those pitches and get us through another inning than the pitch count might tell you should throw. So his efficiency and the lead out on the bunt made for a really good outing for him. Sharp, good. And he's coming to the games in that situation before. You can tell he's comfortable with it and doesn't overcoat things and manages it right. And you have to be poised. But we do those drills all the time. You feel the bunt, but has he touched one of those in a game this year to make that play? No. So it's good to see that kind of execution on something that appears simple, but when these guys are calibrated and so dynamic in how they throw, sometimes picking it up and making a throw like an infielder is not the easiest thing. So he did a great job.
Being in the month of May now, I guess it's like to have a better feel for a guy like Cole and able to make that non-business kind of calm things down.
We're trying to get there. There are days and moments. That stuff is as good as anything. It's like these slider metrics, and the teams have the tablet that tells you what these pitches are doing. You can go watch any major league game tonight, and there's a handful of pitches like that in the sport. That's how good that slider is. So we're trying. And then he finds the fastball at times. It looks like he has command, and then that comes and goes. So we're trying because we know how dynamic that stuff can be. There's just only so much wiggle room in a game that's that tight to let somebody work through it, and he got out of it, and he felt that was enough.
Now that midweeks are over, how interested are you in some of these guys maybe being a little bit more available on weekends?
Fully interested. That's why we limited White going into this. You want all hands on deck. You don't know. He's not going to be ready to go Friday probably, but he's definitely in play, and so is everybody that pitched. So you feel like you're as full with your strength and your workload as you can be at this time in the bullpen. And we've been very conservative with bouncing these guys back on shorter rest. Almost to a fault at times, I wonder, but we want to protect them, and they are so dynamic and strong. And the way the players throw these secondary pitches now, it's so forceful that we try to give them the proper rest without forcing guys. There were guys that you would probably wonder, were they available? So we have been on the side of no with that to get to this point. And I hope it helps us down the stretch.
We've had guys struggle with Brody and Carter and Nick bounce back. A guy like Eli Putnam is currently kind of going through that. How do you approach them? What do you talk to them about? Obviously, going on with the first base.
Well, you see flashes of how powerful he is when he makes quality contact. You can't overthink the at-bats. That's what it appeared as though he did tonight. I think he was maybe correctly attacking or sitting on certain pitches, and it just didn't line up. But then there were obviously some that were more no decision type pitches that clearly offer that, and that's tough. And sometimes it snowballs you, and you have to reset it and make sure you're staying with the fundamentals of the approaches. I don't think it's swing related. I think it's approach, vision, recognition of spin related more than anything else. And sometimes when you're sitting on pitches, when it's not going well, you think you've got the right thought on what to sit on, and you may not get it. And I think that actually happened to him a couple times, and he found himself in a hole on a pitch that looked clearly hittable, and he was probably sitting on the other one. So he needs to simplify it and just try to relax. And I wasn't asking him to sack one out by any stretch. There was something else that he misread what we were trying to do. So that's why that was so important there at the end. But he's been through it. He's a hard-working kid. His heart's in the right place. He plays solid. Like he's done some things at a position that he probably did not expect to do. So I have that in my vault of what he's done, and he'll get chances and he'll be okay.